So guys, welcome back to another on program with Real Bug. And today we're doing what if France made an empire. And so in this video, France will make an empire and will become probably one of the most powerful nations in the entire world, which I mean it currently is, but will become probably in the top 3 now. And also thank you guys so much for 284 subscribers, which is the current amount right now. Which is, I don't know what to say about that. It's just pretty awesome that, I mean, my channel's been running for 4 or 5 years now. No, 6 years now, and it was only still got like 12 subscribers. Now they have 234. It feels pretty good, and that you guys are enjoying my videos. So let's get right into this. So France will look around to see who its target is. See who its weakest neighbors are. So here's continental France with Corsica right here and French Guiana over here. And also, I believe France also has like 2 islands off the coast of Canada right here. But I think they're like maybe right here or something. I do not know exactly where they are, so I won't color in on any of the small islands that France has around the world. But just know that that France does have them. So France's first 2 targets are Belgium and Luxembourg. Well, basically, they want to reestablish their natural borders. In order to do so, they must conquer the 2 little nations. So they quickly sweep through Luxembourg and quickly knock out the nation with little to no resistance as they continue to launch an offensive. But they are even able to cut off a portion of the Belgian army, which is swiftly taken out. But some of it does flee into Germany. But Belgium, after launching an invasion from the south, the Belgian army is actually able to hold up a bit, establishing one long defensive line going from here all the way to here. It holds for quite some time, but ultimately the French army is able to break through on the coast over here. This fractures the entire line as they're finally pushed back from the border. And a swift army and a large army of like 20,000 soldiers rushes into Brussels and captures the city. But the Belgians, without their capital, they still continue to fight. But they do begin to evacuate people and citizens into the Netherlands, as the new French monarchy is kind of persecuting these people, seeing them as lesser. But sadly, the Belgianese resistance is ultimately forced to retreat into the Netherlands and continue Belgium and Luxembourg as exile in Netherlands, which happily does so though. But as now Netherlands, Germany, and all the bordering countries do begin to ramp up their military budgets and stuff because of now re-expanding France. With France's rapid expansion, though, this does but not actually. Never mind. With France's capturing of Belgium and Luxembourg, this does give a more defensible position again on the Rhine than it used to, and also increases their resources in population. And so after continuing to build up his military, they launch they also establish an alliance with Poland, who's now been seeking revenge. So they will get dark red. Dark red will symbolize ally. So the 2 nations declare war on declare war on Germany as part of their revenge for World War I and II, and also much in the past, and more in the past. So, the nation to take the first swing is Poland, launching mass invasion across the entire border, and its army has been gearing up for the last few years. And also, as Poland quickly does capture a lot of territory, but its advance around Berlin does ultimately stall as the Germans are with reinforcements are able to push back Polish around Berlin a bit, but not much. But then a much larger attack from France comes in from the west into the Rhineland. Much of the Rhineland, all the Rhineland is captured quite swiftly as Germany, as the German military begins to fail, because it's can no longer defend both fronts as the French, but as the German line bit on the west collapses, leading to just a massive advance across the entire front, which leads to many pockets and encirclements of the German military. The French even entered Bavaria a bit, and then they swept their entire thing and captured it. Around 200,000 troops are encircled as the French reach Germany's coast, but the Germans still somehow establish a defensive line. But Poland launches a also advance to cut off this peninsula. It does not succeed as the Germans are able to push back, but the Battle of Hamburg also does happen. Germans over here, wanting to not let both nations connect, using much of their remaining strength to able to push back both nations a bit, separating them as the German line actually begins to hold a bit. But this does ultimately lead to failure as the Polish are able to break through basically out of ammo Germany as they launch a major advance and ultimately come to the doorstep of Berlin. Like my last video, what if Austria made an empire? I do not know the exact location of Germany, of the German capital, Berlin. So I will try my best to do so. I will call it right here, I would say. Please don't be mad at me if I get this incorrect. It's really, I really don't know, surprisingly. Well, let's just call that there. The Polish entered through the city, able to capture the outskirts, the most eastern outskirts of the city, as they roll around the northern outskirts. The Germans are defending the city well, but parts of the city are able to fall. The yellow that turns into the light red is occupied territory, so the most eastern outskirts of the city do fall as they try to make a pin maneuver on the city, the Polish, trying to cut it off, which is successful as the German capital falls into Polish hands, begins to fall into Polish hands as they continue to secure it, and ultimately it's forced to be secured. German defenders retreat into the city for urban combat. The Polish, after intense fighting in the northern outskirts, fall. The south, also does fall, but the central of this, but central city, including the Reichstag, does remain. As the Polish are not able to capture it thanks to stiff resistance. As we go over here to Hamburg, as I believe Hamburg is located right here somewhere. Let's say Hamburg is there. The with the Polish doing Berlin, the French wanted to also do something incredible, so they launched another advance on Hamburg. It was successfully able to connect with the city. They are using a bit of land that captured above the river. They quickly expand that as they move downstream. And they also begin to they also encircle Hamburg from the Germans, but the city does remain mostly well defended. But ultimately, Hamburg does ultimately fall. The German army attempts to resecure is able to resecure a point with the city, as they're ultimately able to somewhat push back the Polish, as the northern outskirts are liberated, along with parts of the eastern outskirts of the city. As a continued counteroffensive by the Germans goes surprisingly quite well, actually. But it does ultimately come to a stalemate of basically some sort. As the Germans are able to liberate the northern and southern outskirts of the city, but they are fighting for the eastern outskirts. But the German president does see really no point in continuing to fight the war, as they know Germany, with two of Europe's strongest nations, having captured basically like 80% of Germany, and with the remaining part, the people are suffering. Famine has taken over the remaining of Germany, and also they're almost out of ammunition thanks to lackluster military spending over the last few decades. The German military the German military and the German president surrender to the Polish and French coalition. New borders are now drawn up, as Germany does not lose a decent chunk of land, loses a bit of land to Poland, as they see it as revenge for what they have done. But thanks to efforts from more of the Polish government, they're able to even get Berlin, as they see that it's rightfully right that they get that. The French get Rhineland, as they also break away Bavaria, to try to further destroy Germany. And so let's draw the new borders, and so let's color in the new borders. How long has it been running for? Oh, 14 minutes. Well, and so the old German government is kept in what remains of Germany, but the nation is on the verge of collapse, as having lost they lost the entirety of Berlin, Rhineland, and Bavaria. The German people begin to do bad stuff. As the German people become angsty and begin to want revenge, as the old government is eventually overthrown and is replaced by called the Fourth Reich. Only a few weeks after the end of the war. Now with this, France it turns its attention to Spain as wanting to retake Catalonia. They they basically just they're gonna take it by force, basically. As they quickly roll over the hills with their airplanes and tanks as they supposedly capture Catalonia. As then the French government does send a peace treaty to Spain, just asking for Catalonia, nothing else. But the Spanish refuse, as they're not willing to give up one of the most important regions. So a dueling fight continues as the French push across the entire Spanish border. But now the Spanish army is ready as they give the French if they're gonna want their country, they're gonna have to bleed for it. As the but while they while the French do continue to put on coast but it's with heavy casualties and huge losses of equipment as the Spanish are giving all they got. As they're even able to launch a counter attack, but the French are able to destroy the Mediterranean Spanish Navy as they then also not only do they cripple it, but they destroy it after capturing the 3 islands right here. But the French continue to push down the Mediterranean coast with again heavy casualties and huge losses of equipment. As they are finally able to reach Gibraltar. Following this entire time, they have also been spreading out, trying not to get cut off. But the Spanish have different plans as they still cut them off. But 200,000 soldiers are encircled and destroyed. Nobody returns from it. With that, the war ultimately just draws to a stalemate for the next year until both nations agree to a peace treaty, not wanting to lose more lives. So the French do get all of this land as part of it, but the French had to pay war reparations to Spain as reparation for it. As well, they do see Spain having lost it. It's like a draw basically, like the Korean War. France is now the most dominant power in Eastern and Western Europe, along with its ally Poland, who's now becoming with having the fall of Russia. After its loss in Ukraine, it's lost its ability to basically protect power over all of Eastern Europe, which led to Belarus, which led to Lukashenko's government being deposed along with Putin's. as basically Poland is now becoming the new big the new big country in Eastern Europe. As with the collapse of Russia and the deposing of the Putin government, Kaliningrad becomes the safe haven for the Putin government, but Poland does ultimately end that after launching a military invasion. Now with this, the French, having just gone through two very bloody, deadly wars that have destroyed most of their that destroyed around 30% of their men and like 50% of their equipment, they decide to stop, as this is where the French king calls off any further expansion. This is the height. This would be the height of the. So basically, this is where I'm gonna end off the video. This is what if France made an empire in 2022. Not 2022, but 2023. I don't know why I said that. I guess I'm still stuck in 2022, which is funny, as it's March 19th right now, as you can tell from down here. So basically, also Poland got a little bit bigger, and so thank you guys so much for watching. If you are still watching this, I'm very grateful. I'm so super grateful to to all 284 people who have subscribed to my channel, and to all those who have liked my videos and have watched my videos. I'm super grateful for that. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and hope you guys have a great rest of your week.